is Thursday, December 10th. Welcome to today's COVID-19 Task Force update. We have a busy program today. We have some news, of course. We have Lloyd Phillips returning. And at the end of the program, don't leave too soon because we have a pretty nice surprise for you at the end. But we'd like to get started right away with the Chief Peacekeeper, Dwayne Zacharie, to give an update. Dwayne?
Good evening, Kahnawà. The holiday season is almost upon us, so I wanted to come on and remind people and let them know that there are a lot of things that are happening in our community, and we're receiving lots of calls here at the Peacekeeper station about people not respecting the rules, not respecting the directives that are out there. These directives were put in place for all of our safety, yours and mine, all of our families, so it's imperative that each and every one of us do their share to follow all of these rules. I think over the last few days, weeks, you've heard some information about how things are getting worse everywhere else. It's happening here as well, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to mitigate the effects of the coronavirus. So it's imperative that all of us follow the rules, all of us practice the masking, the distancing, and the hand hygiene. It's, I'll say it again, it's super important. And we're relying on all of you to cooperate with us. Let's all do our part together by staying apart. So it's super important to remember that. As much as possible, try to stay home. I know it's the holiday season. Lots of people have said, I don't care, I'm getting together with my family. You have to care because it's important and it can affect all of us. And I don't think anybody wants to be responsible for getting anybody sick or for being that person that's the epicenter of an outbreak. Over the holidays, and I mean from now on and through the holidays, all of the peacekeepers are going to be out there. They're going to be looking for people who are contravening the directives that are in place. I would urge you all to go on the KMHC website or even anywhere that you can find the directives. Make yourself aware of them, read them, understand them. If you have questions about them or you don't understand exactly what it means, please contact someone. You can contact me here at the Peacekeeper station as well. That's fine. I don't mind helping out. Anyway, back to the peacekeepers. They're going to be out there. They're going to be patrolling and looking for people who are contravening the directives. And, like throughout the pandemic, we've worked really hard to practice community policing. And what that means is trying to work with people, educate them on why it's important to follow the directives when they're not. Giving them warnings, having them follow the directives. But it's very serious now. So what I'm here to say is we're going to try to practice community policing. However, more than likely, we're going to move right into the enforcement part of it, and we're probably going to start issuing fines. So we don't want to do it. We don't want anybody saying, oh, you're a Grinch or anything like that. What it is, it's about the safety and security of each and every one of us. So please cooperate. Please follow the directives and the rules that are out there. It's up to all of us to be safe and to make sure that our neighbors and our loved ones are safe as well. We've heard lots of talk from lots of people about alternative plans. What that means is maybe you're going to have some kind of Zoom meetings. I know it's not the same thing, but 2020 and even into 2021, we're going to have to start writing things off. Christmas, Halloween, those types of things. We've been through Halloween. I think it went over really well. We're coming into Christmas now and New Year's. You have to find alternative ways of communicating with each other. Staying apart as much as possible. It's the only way that we're going to get through this, and the only way we're going to get through it safely. So as much as we don't want to move to enforcement right off the bat, that all depends on the cooperation of the community. We need each and every one of you to follow the directives, to be responsible, to care about everyone else too. It's not just about me getting mine, it's about everyone being safe, and hopefully Kahnawà at the end of all of this, whenever that is, being able to say, like, wow, we did we're doing an excellent job now, but wow, at the end of it all, it'd be great to say we didn't have all of these bad things happen to our community like they are in many other communities across this country. So the masking, the distancing and the hygiene, the hand hygiene are imperative. You know, when you go out and about, make sure you're wearing your masks, make sure you're wearing them properly. You know, if you see any issues out there in the community, please call us. We will respond. We'll deal with whatever issue there is throughout the time of the pandemic. You know, we've handled hundreds and hundreds of calls about COVID-19. We're going to continue doing that. We're going to continue working hard for the community. We need all of you to help us do that as well. Okay, so Kahnawake, stay safe.
And now, Dwayne, good job. Coming up next from the Zacharie Memorial Hospital Center, and of course, member of the task force, here is Lisa Westaway.
Good afternoon. Well, unfortunately, you're going to be hit with the same message 3 times today from 3 different people, slightly different ways. So we're also here to talk about the holiday time, about the weeks that we're facing, the weeks ahead of us, and how we might meet with people and create meaningful contacts in ways that are safe for all of us. So I spoke a little bit this morning about my home situation, and I was told by many who were listening this morning that it was helpful to relate to a personal experience. So I thought I would bring that up again today about choices. And so at the task force, we tried to give you as much information so that you can make the proper choices and the safest choices for you and your family, for what works for you and your family, whatever that might be. So the safest choice during the holiday time is to stay with your own household. We don't like to give that message, but we have no choice based on what we see around us and based on what we see in our own community right now. So presently we have 4 active cases in the community. These are 4 new cases. So the ones that I had been referring to previously have recovered. We had 3 new positive cases yesterday and 1 new positive case today. This is telling us there are also contacts of these positive cases that are in isolation. We are seeing more people being tested on a daily basis. We know that we are at a very much increased risk right now within the community, and therefore we have to be as safe as possible. Now, should you choose to meet with another household during the holidays, what we're suggesting is that you never meet with more than 1 other household in your home. So that's your home and 1 other household in your home. And we don't suggest that you do that very often during the holidays. Why? Because when you meet with people in your home, we often do things that create contacts without realizing it. So even though we try and we plan to be as safe as possible, we sometimes have lapses. So just to talk about my family and the risk involved with my family, for example, we're 6 of us that live in our home. A granddaughter who goes to daycare, a daughter who works at the hospital, a son who goes to school and who has a girlfriend, and another daughter who goes to school as well outside of the community and therefore with many other children, and a husband who works in the school system, and of course me. So we have huge possibilities besides our daily activities where we try to be as safe as possible. We hand wash, distance, mask, but we still have opportunities between all of us to contract the virus at any given time. And we can all 6 of us, be contagious without realizing it. There are the possibility of one of us having COVID but being asymptomatic, for example. There's the possibility of being contagious 48 hours before we develop symptoms. So if we have contacts when we feel perfectly fine, that's when we could be at our most dangerous possible time of giving the virus to someone we love. So when we choose to have my parents over or when we choose to go see my in-laws, we do so having had the discussion with them about what the risks are and how we need to act when we're in each other's presence so that we ensure that we're as safe as possible. So when our parents say, well, just give us 1 hug, it's 1 hug, we'll put a mask on, we have to say no. And it's really not easy, but we do that because we know we have to, because we could be contagious and we could be making them sick and we can make them die. So what we want is for you to understand that. We need you to understand that now before the holidays so that when you make your choices, you do so with all everything in mind, all the safety you can muster, so that you have your gatherings if you need to, of only 2 households, not more. Because if you have more than 2 households, that is against a task force directive, and that can be enforceable. If there's a complaint that's made to the peacekeepers, it will be looked into and fines can be issued. So again, we ask that you make those decisions with with being mindful, understanding the risks, and knowing that if you do meet with other people, you do so safely, meaning distance, hygiene, and masks. That is the vaccine for right now. So, speaking about vaccines, the rollout is happening a lot more quickly than anticipated. As you know, the vaccine was approved by Health Canada yesterday. I have an emergency meeting tomorrow with our partners in Montérégie to get more information, and from what I understand, there could be a vaccine rollout very shortly, maybe even before the new year, likely before the new year. What we do know is that there will be a priority to long-term care facilities and health and social service workers, but we don't have much information beyond that for the present time. And again, the vaccine is not our savior right now. It may be in the long run. However, what is going to be our savior is our individual actions. So distance, hygiene, and masks. And thank you.
And thank you very much, Lisa. Coming up next is the Commissioner of Public Safety, and we're glad to have him back for the first time in a couple of weeks. Here is Lloyd Phillips. Lloyd.
Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate your words, and I think it's important messages that we have to keep, repeating, to our community. And talk about directives and recommendations and enforcement. It's not easy, and we don't like to talk about enforcement often, but we have to remind people that the directives are put into place, and then they are covered by Kahnawà law, the emergency preparedness law, and they are certainly enforceable. Before I go any further, I just want to take 1 second to say thank you to everybody. For your condolences and well wishes to myself and to my family, the passing of my mother last week, and I certainly felt good to feel those positive messages from community members and obviously friends and family as well. So thank you very much for that. We're certainly living in some very difficult times. I could speak to that on a personal level, going through the recent passing of my mother, and how having a wake of only 25 people and making sure you're being as safe as you possibly can is not it adds an extra burden to a grieving process, and it's something that is a thing we want to avoid moving forward. Certainly, unfortunately, obviously people will pass for various reasons, but we want to make sure we do everything in our power to ensure that we don't have people in our community, passing away due to COVID related issues. So, that's why we're here talking to you, and we want at times, make it a little bit personal, because the decisions that we make, the decisions that we put forward, bind each and every one of the task force members just as much as it binds everybody else in the community. So it is again a challenging time, and we are quite frankly concerned about the upcoming holidays, because we know people want to gather, people want to be with friends and family and loved ones. As I mentioned this morning on K103, the reasons why we gather, right, is because we want to be with loved ones, people we care about, and that's what wants to bring us together. But for the very reasons why we want to be together and gather with loved ones is the same reason why at this point in time we should be apart as much as possible, because you want to have your loved ones with you obviously for hopefully next year this time we could have a even bigger Christmas celebration. Hopefully, we could have much more festive times in the months and next year this time. I know it seems a long ways away, but the things we do today and the decisions we make over the next few weeks will have a direct impact on how it rolls out in your family and ultimately our community. Today, again, almost another record in Quebec in terms of number of new cases, 1,842 new cases, which has been average for the past week. And it wasn't very long ago when we were talking about averages of 1,100, 1,200 per day. Now we're averaging, 1,800 or thereabouts, per day of new cases. And obviously that trend, is going in the wrong direction. And if that trend continues down that path, as well as the trend of increasing number of deaths in Quebec, things are going to get worse before they get better. With the cold weather, more people, getting inside and not having the ability to distance and much if people don't abide by directives internally to the community, as well as external to in Quebec as a whole, things are going to go down a path that nobody wants to see. That's why we're here to, again, just to reinforcing these messages, because it is extremely important. And the more strict we are now, the more, I guess, compliant we are now, the less the possible impacts, on the virus, on our community, on your families moving forward. Because the overall direction, in the province is not going in a good way. And we could do what we can. We can't really control. We can't control what they do in Montreal or in the Montérégie area or anywhere else. But we have a level of control what we do in our community, and each and every one of us has a role to play to keep our community as safe as possible. So yeah, with that said, the areas in Montreal, obviously Montreal is once again, I guess, the epicenter, so to speak, regarding the virus. Largely because of the number of people, but as well as the, I guess, the lack of people following measures. And only second to Montreal Island is actually the Montérégie or the Salt Shore region of Montreal, obviously, which geographically includes Kahnawà. So those are the areas that are highest impact at this point in time. So we got to be mindful of that. We ask people to stay home as much as possible. We're asking people to be vigilant, extra vigilant at this time. Shop Kahnawà as much as you possibly can. But we understand not everything's available in the community. But when you go out to pick up Christmas gifts or whatever you're going out for, be mindful that the virus is spreading around us at a very rapid rate, at an alarming rate. And be extra vigilant, be extra cautious. Plan your trips. If you just want to go out, do the groceries and go shopping, plan where you're going and get in and out as quickly as possible. Those are some of the things that we want to keep reminding the community of, because again, we're all linked in one way or another. And that's one thing that we know for sure when we had cases in the community, and we do contact tracing through the Zacharie Hospital's local public health team. It's, as we know, we're all close knit and we're all linked in different ways. But when you're doing contact tracing because of a virus, it is crystal clear how vulnerable our community could be, but by the number of contacts that someone you could have, in a very short period of time. So we got to keep that in mind. Everybody's responsibility to help keep everybody else safe in the community. And the decisions we make today will have definite impacts on our family in our community in the future. So with that, Kahnawà, once again, stay safe. Talk soon. Onigawai.
And thank you very much, Lloyd. We have a nice video coming up in a few moments, so we'll be getting to that. Just to let you know, we've had a few people who are watching make some comments. We don't have the sanitizer bottle over here anymore, but it is right over here, out of sight, and before everybody comes on, they do it. Actually, we had some people saying, you know what, it makes a lot of noise, you guys are washing your hands and stuff. So rest assured, we're still doing it. We're following all of the rules over here. It is important that we do. I just want to make that clear to everybody. Just a note, coming up, I mentioned this the other day, but the holiday train is not coming to Kahnawà, but the food basket is still going to be having an event with CP. I'm very sorry about that. CP, the holiday train, and there will be a grocery pickup. You can drop off your goodies over at the Knights of Columbus Hall from 4:30 to 7:30, and then the concert is at 8 p.m. and you can catch it on Twitter and Instagram. And now, before we leave, just a little note here. Step by Step put together a little video, and when we saw it, we thought, wow, this is a nice little uplifting piece. We thought it'd be a good idea to show this as we suffer through these very difficult times. Hopefully this will help cheer you up. So enjoy it. We'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.
This is Step by Step's Christmas message specially made for the task force. Oh, the COVID out there is scary, so this ain't no time for sharing. And since we no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Since the COVID seems like it's staying, the task force must keep on saying, till the numbers go way down low. Stay at home, stay at home, stay at home. When we finally get to kiss goodnight, it'll mean that we've won this fight. But till then, Arnold has to ask, where's your mask? Where's your mask? Where's your mask?